What if I told you about a nation so vast, so full of contradictions, that its own capital city is literally sinking under the weight of its own existence? A megalopolis of over 30 million people, a nexus of commerce and culture, is disappearing into the sea at one of the fastest rates on the planet. This forces the country to do the unthinkable, to surgically remove its own heart, abandon its center of gravity, and build a new one from scratch in the middle of one of the world's last great rainforests. This isn't a dystopian novel. This is the present-day reality of Indonesia. Most of us know it for Bali's idyllic beaches or the serene faces of Borobudur's Buddhas, but that's like reading the first page of an epic and thinking you know the entire story. This journey is not about the tourist trail. It's about understanding the soul of a nation forged in volcanic fire, governed by ancestral spirits, and now gambling its very future on an audacious, controversial dream. Let's uncover the secrets that lie just beneath the surface. To truly grasp Indonesia, you must first unlearn how you look at a map. Dismiss the idea of a solid, singular country. Instead, picture a liquid continent, a sprawling oceanic realm of 17,508 islands, some mere volcanic specks, others larger than Germany, flung across the equator for a distance greater than the span of the entire United States. A 12-hour flight will take you from the Islamic heartlands of Aceh in the west to the tribal highlands of Papua in the east, and you will never once leave its sovereign airspace. This geography isn't just a statistic. It is the central, defining challenge of the nation's existence. It's the reason Indonesians don't just refer to their home as a fatherland, but as tanah, air, land and water. The two are inseparable. This immense archipelago presents a logistical and political nightmare. How do you unite a place where traveling between major cities can be more complex than flying between continents? How do you forge a single identity from over 300 distinct ethnic groups, speaking more than 700 living languages? The national motto, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, an old Javanese phrase meaning unity in diversity, is therefore not some lofty, aspirational platitude. It is a daily, desperate, and sometimes violent struggle against the powerful centrifugal forces of geography, culture, and history that constantly threaten to pull the nation apart. And this vast realm of water is built upon a foundation of absolute fire. Indonesia is the most volatile section of the terrifying Pacific Ring of Fire, a tectonic battleground that has endowed the nation with fertile volcanic soil and a terrifying proximity to cataclysm. It is home to around 130 active volcanoes, more than any other country on Earth. These are not just geological features, they are deities, creators, and destroyers, central figures in the local cosmology. Their power is biblical. In 1815, the eruption of Mount Tambora was the single largest and deadliest in recorded human history. It ejected so much ash and sulfur into the stratosphere that it blocked out the sun, triggering the year without a summer. Across Europe and North America, global temperatures plummeted, crops failed, and widespread famine ensued. It was a climate catastrophe that, in its eerie darkness, even inspired Mary Shelley to write Frankenstein. Less than 70 years later, in 1883, the volcanic island of Krakatoa self-destructed in an explosion with a force 13,000 times that of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The sound was heard nearly 3,000 miles away in Australia and on islands off the coast of Africa. It remains the loudest sound ever documented. The blast generated 100-foot-tall tsunamis that obliterated hundreds of coastal towns and villages, claiming over 36,000 lives. Even today, the ground trembles. Volcanoes like Mount Merapi in Java, one of the most active on the planet, regularly spew pyroclastic flows, forcing evacuations and serving as a constant, humbling reminder that the very ground beneath the feet of millions is alive, and it is violent. This is the stage upon which the Indonesian story is written, a landscape of impossible beauty and imminent peril, where the act of creation is forever entwined with the act of destruction. The seismic energy of this land is not merely geological. It runs deep within the spiritual bedrock of its people, giving rise to beliefs and rituals that challenge our entire Western conception of life, death, and the afterlife. To find its most profound expression, we travel to the highlands of Sulawesi, to the land of the Torajan people. Here, death is not a final goodbye, but a prolonged social transition, and the line between the world of the living and the world of the dead is wonderfully, beautifully blurred. A Torajan funeral is the most important event in a person's life, and they often spend their entire fortunes and go deep into debt to afford it. It is not uncommon for a deceased family member to be kept in the home, mummified with formaldehyde for months or even years, until the family can gather the resources for a fitting send-off. During this time, the deceased is not considered dead, but merely sick or sleeping. They are offered food and drink daily and are spoken to as if they are still part of the family circle. This relationship culminates in the Manin ritual, the ceremony of cleaning corpses. Every few years, families open their ancestral tombs, bring out the preserved bodies of their loved ones, and lovingly clean, groom, and dress them in new clothes. They are given cigarettes, their favorite possessions, and are propped up for family photos. To an outsider, it might seem macabre. But for the Torajans, this is the ultimate act of ongoing love and respect. It is a refusal to forget, a powerful belief that family bonds are stronger than mortality itself. This reverence for the spirit extends even to the youngest. When a baby dies before teething, a life deemed pure and innocent, they are not buried in the ground. They are wrapped in cloth and placed inside a hollowed-out space carved into a living, growing Tara tree. The community believes the tree's life, giving sap, will nourish the baby's soul. And as the wound in the bark slowly heals over, the child is peacefully absorbed back into nature, returning to a womb far greater and more eternal than the one they left. This spiritual intensity is physically etched into the landscape itself. On the remote island of Flores, the volcano Kelimutu cradles 3 distinct crater lakes at its summit. But these are no ordinary bodies of water. They are known as the magical lakes because they change color dramatically and unpredictably, shifting from turquoise and emerald green to deep crimson red and jet black. Local animist lore holds that these are the resting places for departed souls, each lake a different purgatory. Tiwu Eta Umbupu, the lake of old people, is often blue. Tiwu Nua Muri Kufai, the lake of young men and maidens, is typically green. And Tiwu Atapolo, the enchanted or bewitched lake, is the receptacle for the souls of the wicked, and it is most often red or black. The ever-changing colors are said to reflect the shifting moods and energies of these ancestral spirits. Scientists offer a more prosaic explanation. The colors are the result of chemical reactions triggered by volcanic gases, or fumaroles, interacting with the different mineral contents of each lake. But here, in this sacred place, the scientific and the mystical are not mutually exclusive. They simply coexist, 2 different languages telling the same awesome story. And then, there is the confounding case of Mount Kemukus in central Java, infamously known as Sex Mountain. Here, one of the most controversial rituals in the country took place for decades. It's a pilgrimage shrine rooted in the 16th century legend of an illicit affair between a young prince, Pangeran Samadro, and his stepmother. They fled to the mountain to consummate their love, but were caught and killed mid-act. A bizarre belief emerged that if a pilgrim could symbolically complete the couple's unfinished act by having sex with a stranger on the mountain, they would be blessed with wealth and good fortune. The ritual was highly structured, requiring participants to repeat the act with the same stranger 7 times, precisely every 35 days. For years, local authorities turned a blind eye, even profiting from the tourism it generated. This created a profound contradiction, a ritualistic adultery hub thriving in the heart of the world's most populous Muslim-majority nation. Eventually, amid rising concerns over public health, prostitution, and pressure from conservative religious groups, the government officially banned the ritualistic aspect of the pilgrimage, attempting to rebrand the site. But the story remains a stark example of how ancient, pre-Islamic Javanese mysticism can endure and create complex, often uncomfortable, cultural hybrids in the modern era. This intense relationship with the unseen world spills over into a direct, often brutal, and deeply pragmatic engagement with the natural one. It's a world of strange treasures, deadly bargains, and profound ecological wisdom. Perhaps the most globally famous and peculiar treasure is Kopi Luwak, the world's most expensive coffee. Its story is a parable of colonial oppression and ingenious discovery. In the 1800s, under the Dutch colonial cultivation system, local Indonesian farmers were forced to grow cash crops like coffee, but were forbidden from harvesting the beans for their own use. They were workers, not owners. But they observed that the Asian palm civet, a small, cat-like mammal, would eat the ripest coffee cherries and excrete the hard inner beans whole. Driven by a desire for their own cup of coffee, the farmers began collecting these droppings, then cleaning and roasting the beans. What they discovered was astonishing. The civet's digestive enzymes had fermented the beans, breaking down proteins and stripping away their bitter acidity, resulting in a uniquely smooth, rich, and aromatic brew. The Dutch colonists were stunned by its superior quality. Today, a pound of authentic, wild-collected Kopi Luwak can sell for up to $600. But its fame has a dark side. The insatiable demand has led to an industry of cruelty, where civets are captured from the wild and kept in cramped, miserable battery cages, force-fed a monotonous diet of coffee cherries to mass-produce the beans. A tragic perversion of its serendipitous, natural origin. The sheer biodiversity of Indonesia is staggering, and its secret lies in an invisible line. Running through the archipelago is the Wallace Line, a deep water trench that creates a major biogeographical boundary. First identified by the naturalist Alfred Russel Wallace, it separates the ecozones of Asia and Australasia. To the west of the line, on islands like Sumatra, Java, and Borneo, you find the megafauna of Asia: tigers, elephants, rhinos, and orangutans. To the east, the fauna abruptly changes to that of Australasia, with marsupials like tree, kangaroos and cuscus, and birds of paradise. It is here that you find the only place on Earth to see the 3 remaining species of orangutan in the wild. Our gentle, orange-haired cousins who share 97% of our DNA and are now critically endangered by palm oil deforestation. And it is the exclusive home of a living dragon. The Komodo dragon, the world's largest lizard, patrols a handful of islands in the Lesser Sundas. A prehistoric predator growing up to 10 feet long, it hunts with a patient, deadly strategy, delivering a single bite filled with venom and anticoagulant toxins then stalking its prey for days until it bleeds out and succumbs to shock. This bargain with nature can also be a blood pact, a ritualized violence born from necessity and belief. In the remote village of La Malera, men still hunt sperm whales the way their ancestors have for over 600 years. From small, hand-built wooden boats called paldang, a harpooner, the lamafa, stands on a precarious platform at the bow. With astonishing courage, he leaps into the air, driving his barbed bamboo, shafted harpoon deep into the flesh of the leviathan, often going into the water with it. This is subsistence hunting, exempted from international whaling bans, because it is non-commercial and essential to the village's survival. The hunt is governed by ancient taboos and laws. They never hunt pregnant whales, calves, or mating pairs. When a whale is brought to shore, the meat is meticulously divided among the entire community according to a strict, ancient system of shares, ensuring everyone gets a piece. It is a testament to a sustainable, communal relationship with the ocean that has endured for centuries. Further east, on the island of Sumba, that violence is turned inward. The annual Pasola festival is a ritualized battle between two teams of hundreds of men on horseback. Clad in traditional ikat weavings, they charge at each other, hurling blunted wooden spears. The goal is to unhorse opponents and, crucially, to spill blood. The ancient belief holds that every drop of human blood that falls upon the soil fertilizes the land and appeases the spirits, ensuring a bountiful rice harvest. Serious injuries are common, and deaths, while rare, have occurred. But even a fatality is not seen as a tragedy in the typical sense. It is viewed as the ultimate sacrifice for the community's prosperity, a life given so that the land may live. What happens when these ancient traditions, deep-seated beliefs, and powerful natural forces collide with the relentless, often chaotic, march of the 21st century? On the Mentawai Islands, off the coast of Sumatra, the concept of beauty is literally chiseled into the body. For the Mentawai women, the aesthetic ideal is not smooth, white teeth, but sharp, pointed fangs, like a shark. In a long, grueling ritual performed without any anesthetic by a village shaman using a chisel and file, a young woman's teeth are painstakingly sharpened to fine points. The Mentawai believe this practice not only enhances a woman's physical beauty, but more importantly, brings balance to her soul, pleasing the ancestral spirits and ensuring a life of harmony. It is a powerful, visceral way of inscribing cultural identity directly onto the body, a permanent declaration of belonging in a world that increasingly demands conformity. But even as these ancient traditions hold on, the modern world is leaving an irreversible mark. Indonesia, a tropical nation straddling the equator, is home to one of the world's very few equatorial glaciers, a crown of ice and snow high atop the 16,000-foot peak of Puncak Jaya in Papua. This anomaly, first spotted by a Dutch explorer in 1623 and widely dismissed as a fever dream by his European contemporaries, is real. But it is disappearing. The Karstens Glacier has shrunk by over 80% since it was first measured in the 1930s, a direct and visible casualty of global climate change. Soon, the legendary snows of Puncak Jaya will be nothing but a memory, a potent metaphor for the fragility of Indonesia's natural heritage in the face of global forces. This brings us, full circle, back to where we began, the sinking capital of Jakarta. It is the ultimate, tragic symbol of Indonesia's perilous collision with modernity. A toxic cocktail of factors has sealed its fate: decades of unchecked development, the crushing weight of concrete on soft alluvial soil, the illegal and rampant extraction of groundwater by residents and industries, and the inexorable rise of the Java Sea. parts of North Jakarta are sinking by as much as 10 inches a year. It is a slow-motion disaster. The proposed solution is perhaps the most ambitious and controversial nation-building project on the planet today. A $32 billion relocation of the capital. The government is building an entirely new city, named Nusantara, from the ground up in the sparsely populated, jungle-covered province of East Kalimantan on the island of Borneo. It's envisioned as a futuristic green utopia, a carbon-neutral, smart forest city, powered by renewable energy, where 75% of the area will remain green space. But the project is fraught with peril. Critics fear it will accelerate the very deforestation it claims to oppose in one of the world's most vital ecosystems, the lungs of the planet. They warn of the displacement of indigenous communities who have called the forest home for generations. And many wonder if it will simply create a sterile, isolated government bubble, failing to solve the deep-rooted problems of inequality, corruption, and over-centralization that plague the nation, while leaving Jakarta's 30 million residents to their fate. It is a breathtaking gamble that encapsulates the entire Indonesian paradox, a nation simultaneously looking to its ancient past for identity while trying to engineer a hyper-modern future. A nation of immense natural wonder that is both a victim and a driver of environmental change. Indonesia is not a destination you can simply see. It is a force you have to feel. It is a nation defined by its powerful, often violent, and deeply human contradictions, 17,000 islands striving for a fragile unity, ancient spirits navigating a digital world, and a sinking capital making way for a controversial jungle metropolis. The story of Indonesia is a vivid, ongoing lesson that a country is not a static place on a map, but a living, breathing, and constantly evolving argument with itself about its past, its present, and its uncertain future. What part of Indonesia's complex and layered story surprised you the most? Share your thoughts or your own questions in the comments section below. If this journey opened up a new perspective for you, please share this video with a fellow traveler who loves to look deeper than the surface of a destination. And for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating and misunderstood places, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Until our next journey into the heart of a place, stay curious.